Hi everyone, welcome in BetSports Golf here for a little 3M boots on the ground. We've got a little bit of Blair Witch vibes going on right now, but
Sorry,
actually,
I've seen some people over on 13. There's a tee box like 20 yards from me. I'm gonna see if somebody cool was teeing off.
yeah, because I just get your face and then the trees in the background. So it's yeah, just don't start crying, don't start, runny nose all over the place. So obviously joining us live from TBC Twin Cities is our guy Andy Molitor. What's going on, buddy?
Beautiful morning. No rain really in the forecast till tomorrow, I guess, but it has rained a bunch. It does feel soft, and you can tell it's been soft and rainy and then sunny because the rough looks absolutely like impossibly easy. Like they've just had to be cutting it because I'm sure it's just been growing like crazy. Like you can tell it's been freshly cut. So maybe yesterday or the day before, it doesn't look very bad. I mean, they don't ever keep it too long here. So of course doesn't change much because it can't because it's plumb stuck in the middle of the neighborhood. I don't know. Boots on the ground might not be able to help you a lot. Although I did watch some guys take. I think my favorite thing is to watch practice rounds and practice driving range / putting green stuff. I don't know. These always turn out wrong. Like whenever you play injury news, it's always just the opposite. The guy probably wins, but if you remember, Garrett Higo pulled out of the Kudo with a hip injury, and I couldn't remember the injury, so I'm like googling it while I'm watching him putt, and then he's literally, he's not on the driving range. He's just doing some putting drills. Everybody's out there with their mirrors and everything, all the gadgetry to get your putting stuff right. He's not hard to identify because he's short with long hair. I see him, and I'm like, what was his injury? I look it up, hip injury. And just as I'm looking up, he's standing there at the putting green with his legs like a little wider than shoulder width and doing some hip stretches and stuff. So maybe not 100% quite right yet in the hip department. Although I did go watch him like 10 minutes later. He went and teed off and started the practice round. It seemed fine, but everybody seems fine. It's not a hard hole. It's a very good morning hole to start the day.
We're all day to day.
I mean, yeah, he's not our age, but I wake up and do those same stretches every morning.
Any Open Championship thoughts before we jump into some Twin City stuff? Ron and I kind of went through stuff yesterday. We had a little bit of Ryder Cup discourse. Anything that you want to add to the pile there in terms of Scheffler's kind of runaway, and obviously, we got 2 events and then the playoffs, and then we've been on Ryder Cup discussions, I feel like, since February. But anything to add to what happened after the Open?
The actual announcements, it feels like I was in my hometown at a buddy's parents' house when I watched the announcements, and I watched it because I had a bet on A-Bear to make it. So that means it would have been Labor Day weekend, because that's when I go back.
So I looked it up. The U.S. team is the week of the 24th of August.
Okay.
And then the Euro team is the following week. So, there's no specific date. It's just by this date, you'll know the U.S. team. And then the Euros will be the following week.
I think I'm going to leave it alone just because I got to focus on the 5th major here in Blaine. But I don't hate the idea of a round table. Me, you, grab somebody loud who has too many opinions on it, somewhere in the Kirshner neighborhood. Could get 3-4 of us arguing about basically the last 2 or 3 spots on both teams. That's a fun standalone one. I think we could do. I don't know. You maybe right before the playoffs, because I hate talking about the playoffs anyway. At that point, I'd rather talk about the Ryder Cup. That'd be a fun episode. I don't have any strong takes. It's still pretty much a big mess in the last few spots for the U.S. And there's some guys. If you look at what Data Golf puts out and their power ratings, which is good, and it's all fine and well, and I think they do a fine job. But if you go by theirs, it says Spieth isn't on the team, I think, which probably just isn't a thing. It says Justin Rose isn't on the European team, which probably just That's just not a thing.
I also still feel pretty good about Spieth, so I'm with you too. Like it's tricky.
So
I was trying to do it yesterday. I started and deleted a tweet because I was like, "Here's my US 12," and I started to do it. And I'm like,
it's hard.
Like, I don't know what to do. Like, because if you think there's something to, if someone that continues to do what Goddard's doing, or like if the Goddard is the answer, right? Would spawn in on points. You're basically at a point where if you think Keegan's playing, then you're in a spot where like there's 2 spots for Cantley, Spieth, Goddard up, or
that was my only take. That was my only hot take. I was thinking this whole week, and you tricked me into doing it. I wasn't going to do discourse on this, but I would 100% right now take Goddard up over Cantley. Goddard, if he does anything in the next few weeks, or even just a couple top 10s, it makes it awful hard to be like, hey, this guy's playing the best golf of his life, and the vibes are a lot cleaner than bringing old no hat. And I don't know, Cantley body of work better, but it's been a long time since he really competed for something. And I guess his positives are body of work and experience at the team event. So, I'd take that up right now over him.
I'm pretty sure Cantley's last win was Caves Valley, which is where we're going back to this year for the BMW. So,
we talked about that. 100% won there. Which I don't. Where's he sitting the FedEx points? Feels like he's probably somewhere in that 20 to 40 range, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Ryder Cup points. Let me see where he is.
Well, those are different. The FedEx.
I mean, what are they using? I mean, yeah. So Ryder Cup points, he's 14th. So he's on the outside looking in. FedEx Cup points, he's the same. He's got to be. He's going to be further down there too. Patrick Haley, 18th in FedEx Cup 18th.
Points. Okay, I'm a little higher than I thought. So right now he's sitting in the moneymaker playoff for sure. 2 spots
ahead of Colin Morikawa, who's 16 in FedEx Cup points. Morikawa, though, 8th in Ryder Cup points, because that's a 2-year cumulative versus, obviously FedEx is just this season. So, but look, I mean, all signs point to Keegan playing. Now they've, they've amended whatever agreements that the captains had that came out over the weekend, that there's some clauses that are in terms of, there's certain things that during the event that can only be done by the captain. And now there's a clause in that
the vice captain can do it. Yeah.
Spirit can do it or whatever. Yeah. So Keegan's playing. I mean, I'd be really surprised, and he should. It makes for such an interesting dynamic going into it. We've both been kind of pro plus money Europe. Still feel that way. I took some Scotty live.
It should be picked. Yeah. I mean, it just should be closer. I don't think it's like Europe's just going to crush this team.
Agreed.
It should be close.
Yeah, it shouldn't be plus 140. And again, it's a 3-way market because there's ties involved, I guess. So that impacts a little bit. I guess that takes a little bit of the net equity.
I mean, if we're correct, it's exciting because that means we have, the last. Maybe we get Rory and Scotty for all the marbles on the final group on Sunday. It's been a minute since we've had. I mean, when's the last time we had really cool Sunday drama?
No, I know.
Medina.
Yeah,
that wasn't great. That wasn't fun.
No.
They did announce the 2031 will be at a course I'm not familiar with in Eastern Spain. I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't have much to say on it because I don't know yet. But it looks. I mean, all those European courses at Penn are just bangers. So,
for sure.
I've been stumping for Twin Cities, the TPC Twin Cities. I guess we had Hazeltine.
You had Hazeltine, yeah.
Hazeltine's not. It's crazy. There's like so many courses that are better than Hazeltine up there too.
It's often how it goes.
Yeah. I get it. I get why you pick it. It's funny. I did see a couple decked out in Whistling Straits gear. Like, okay, I get it. No, like the Ryder Cup gear. I suppose if you pay like $190 for a polo shirt, you got to wear it as often as you can.
Yeah, if you're going to an event, that's your time to roll it out for sure.
I do got to hit the merch line yet. So I'm sure you covered a lot of it yesterday, but what's the thesis here? There does seem to be some arguments between distance and accuracy because of the water. This is like PGA National, but
That's actually it. I think the more data, because again, we haven't been coming here for a very long time. Like
it used to be a senior event, yeah.
Yeah, so as the data kind of comes out, it does have. I think there are some Florida vibes, and I think PGA National is a good call out because again, there's I don't know whatever 27 bodies of water somehow feeding into this golf course in different variations. So water is in play off the tee, but pretty wide fairways. And if you're talking about rough not being too problematic, you got to really be spraying it. But again, it happens. There's a lot of big numbers to be had out here. A lot of birdies that can mix in as well. But that's why I think you've seen such a wide swath of winners here. Outside of the Finau year, you've basically had triple-digit guys or guys kind of swimming around that type of number.
Yeah, even Vegas 70, 80 last year, somewhere in there. He's somebody who's competed here well. That is kind of a fun part of this week. You can absolutely grab some ball strikers that can't putt worth a shit. Because Johnny Vegas falls into that category. He is long off the tee. You don't need a bomber. You can have an accuracy guy, but as long as you're a good ball striker, doesn't matter if they've ever putt well.
Yeah.
Because it's just I watched some guys putting, not just on the practice greens, on a couple of the greens over here. I think 12 and 13, and it doesn't look any different. It looks pretty easy. It's the same as always. Not a ton of reading to do. Just find your line, hit it hard, put it in the back of the hole.
Yeah, another spot too, like around the green's not going to really matter. I guess if you're relying on scrambling or strokes gained around the green, you're kind of already, you're scrambling for par. Like you're not scoring, so you're in trouble. It doesn't really matter if you look at last year's leaderboard. You're just not seeing that be much of an impact. So yeah, I mean, look, total driving, but in the sense of distance from the edge of the fairway, we want to keep guys kind of not spraying it, keep the ball in play, and just get hot. So. Have you built the model? Have you made any picks?
I had one from last year. I pulled it up. It had like 15% bent grass putting in it. So I built another one. It was strictly almost all ball striking and scoring. I went with total driving. I went with good drive scheme. I went with greens and regulation. I went with total proximity and like birdies are better. Giving a little more weight to the second shots, and I didn't save that one as an expert model.
Yeah, you didn't turn it on.
No, I didn't turn that on. I have that, but I in my first model, I put the star. This is my favorite thing to do: is when you have an old model or you're redoing one.
Yeah.
I star some guys that I'm looking at, and put them as favorites. I starred 5 or 6 names that I was looking at, and then I pulled up the second one and see who popped in the second one, and. I mean, speaking of guys who can't putt right now, and honestly, the form was there last week. Rico Hui came up big in both. Obviously, Pendrith came up pretty big as his game fits here pretty well. And then, God, who was the other one? I mean, I looked at Bridgman, I looked at Fishburne, Grazerman a little. I don't know how I feel about him right now, but might just be Rico Hui. And then, it's funny because on the drive up, I listened to some podcasts because about an hour and a half to get up here. I tried to leave early enough to avoid the rush hour, which was I did. Thank God. It sucks. I don't have the temperament to live in a big city. Like I can't sit and wait in traffic. So I beat the early morning traffic up here. But I listened to Andy's Andy Laps, and it's funny too. I knew this was coming, but it's always like 3M preview, and then it's always like 50% talking about the event that's going on or recapping the events going on. I had to fast forward to the last like 17 minutes to get to the 3M, which I knew that was going to happen because there's
a lot of open.
There's so much to talk about for the open. It's funny. So I only did get about 15 or 20 minutes of 3M talk, but they mentioned Valdez with an S, Brian Valdez.
Yeah,
one of the guys in there. He is a massive price. And it's funny, he popped in. It wasn't Andy. He had Kirshner and somebody else on there, Kyle. And Kyle mentioned this Valdez kid. And sure as shit, funny enough, he comes up like 4th when I did that second one. So Now I feel like I gotta join at least some top 20 or something on that.
Yeah, he models actually decent for me. Brendan Valdez, especially if you're giving a lot of weight to total driving or accuracy in particular. Like he's third in total driving. I have second in distance from the edge of the fairway. So even actually pretty decent in just recent form. So it could be this is a spot for those guys, right? This is a spot for those, whether it's finishing positions or outrights or with each ways probably for those guys.
Yeah, staying away from the the chalky stuff at the top probably here.
Yeah.
Like you said, Finau did win that one year. He tried to give away.
He did.
It was a little dicey. I'm sitting right, 17, 18, where he got a little squirrely with it. I was a little worried about that. I think he hit like the backboard on 17. There's that huge, like 7-story bleacher there. And he hit that and bounced, almost went in the damn lake. But no, I'm avoiding that. I'm probably gonna take some of those guys I mentioned, 5-6 names in the middle, and then people like Valdez. I'm gonna go find 3 or 4 bombs and just hey, you're 400 to 1. You're getting $10. Such as life. It's not gonna kill me if you go flame out because you're a
they model well for sure. Yeah, I thought a couple of guys you were going to mention, although they're not bombs on the odds board, unfortunately. No. But a couple of guys that were team no putt model well for me. Siwoo, Kurt Kitayama has been striking it real well. I thought that was going to be one of your names. And Kevin Yu, who actually strangely has been putting well and not ball striking it well all of a sudden. This is kind of the opposite. Yeah,
when I looked at short term, I didn't love it. Because Kevin Yu's somebody I bet a few times. I saw Chan Kim walking around. That guy's kind of yoked. Big dude. It's always the surprising thing is it's hard to tell how big these golfers are.
True.
Especially when a lot of the shots you see of them are just by themselves. But it's always surprising one way or the other. Like Garrett Hego, not very tall.
Not a big guy,
but he looks, I don't know, maybe it's the other South Africans that you're like, Hot Peter and some of those guys. But I expected this guy to be huge. He wasn't, just a little guy, but Chan Kim, he's like Johnny Vegas, man. Just a huge dude.
Yeah, he needs
might look at Chan Kim. Had him a couple weeks back, got first, second round leader, couldn't hold on.
No, not at all. Yeah, I wanted to go down a little further, but I kind of fell in love with some of the middle range-ish guys. I'm kind of swimming in that range. I did bet Gracerman at 35. I know there's some 40s out there. UK trip wasn't great to him, but whatever. I think you can, if you
want,
maybe
not a good comp course for Twin Cities.
Correct. You can throw that out pretty easily if you're like, hey, I don't really want to give much weight to what happened there as well. I'm pot committed to Thor.
He's another one where it's like, I wonder if I'll go on the show and Noonan will talk me into Thor.
Yeah. Well, when I wrote it up, I was like, well, at least I'm not chasing ghosts here. We have like a T4, T14, T21 the last 3 times out. Total driving is a strength of the game. The putter hasn't been as hot as it had been in years past, but I think some of the other stuff is becoming a little bit better. So this feels like a spot where, you can have long shots, but you can also have some of these higher profile guys maybe break out in a little bit of a weaker field. So definitely in on Thor's. It's really hard for me to avoid that one more times than not. So there's some interesting numbers on Goddard. What do you think about Goddard this week? I mean, obviously, sub 20 is really impossible, but they were like some 28s, 30s. Like I don't know what to make of that.
One of my goals today was to see if he even shows up.
Right. That's fair.
It feels like I'm tuckered out, and he just doubled his career earnings in like 3 weeks or whatever. So it doesn't feel like there's a 0% chance that he just fails and doesn't make it to a hot and humid Blaine for 4 days.
He's got a lot to play for, though, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, that's the counter argument. It's like he's got to be thinking I can make it out of it too, which is an amazing achievement.
Yeah, he shows up in top 5, top 10s here. even in a weaker field, just continues to roll out that form. Even though we're a couple months out, like you just start to really have a strong case to be made for your viability there. So yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see what happens. I don't know what to do with him. He's off the board for me, but also been on Jake Knapp. I feel like there's some, again, if there are Florida comps, PGA National, he hit a 59 in the first round, kind of collapsed a little bit on Sunday. I think there's actually, when you look at like courses that rate out with high water danger, that's actually Mexico, where he won obviously the year before, T25 this year. Sawgrass, he had a T12. So I don't know, T4 in Detroit, which feels like, Napa kind of in that 40 range too with Graysterman and Thor for me. And then Grillo. Grillo apparently loves Maine.
That's the name. Maine, Blaine, Spain, doesn't matter. Emiliano Grillo is winning an event eventually. It might be in the fall, but he's winning this year. And he was the first one. Has to be.
Yeah.
He's going to model up so well in ball striking stuff. His number was big enough. I mean, I was worried he was going to be like 30 because he's played kind of well. And no, his number's definitely bettable. He's 100% on the card.
Yeah. And also, like, if some people, and I know there's a lot of discussion this week, I think that you'd probably align with me and my thought here is people are trying to, how do you model or how do you grasp, what do you make of guys coming back from overseas? And it's like, it's really hard. Like, we don't have a sample of like you played in one or two events, in the UK and then came back to Blaine. Like, we just don't have a large sample of those guys. And even if we did, that's a really noisy 4-round data set every, once a year. I don't know what to make of that. But if you just want to cross those guys off the list, Rio didn't even go over there.
Yeah, was Tony on that?
He must have been.
I feel like he almost had to.
Yeah,
so
no, he
maybe he was the only one.
He's also the favorite in the field, right? Like, so
yeah,
it's really tricky to me. I don't know.
And that just happens sometimes. Sometimes the favorite just wins. So
yeah,
I don't think Vegas was. Vegas was kind of slumping, and he's a tier below at times.
Yeah, some people are just
Kim Champ. No. Who else was one here? You know who won here? At
Wolfie, yeah.
Oh, that's a name I haven't thought about in quite some time. My God.
Yeah.
What happened to Matt Wolf?
Just playing 54 holes every 3 weeks.
He gone.
Yeah. Sad. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with that, but if you are just, hey, I'm not considering guys that played there, I think Thor, Grillo, I think are viable because they didn't make the trip. Right, last time we saw them was the John Deere, and that went pretty well for both of them. I mean, Thor was in the mix. Grillo, lost in the playoff, and then his course history here: T24 last year, T10 the year before, T2 in 22. Mysticott was playing some pretty bad lead in golf in 21, but did a T3 in 2020. So he seems to like this place. T10, 3 of the last 5 years, and real threats at the top of the board. So like him here. And then my one bomb. But look, if you're talking about Florida golf being in play, you got a guy who anytime he loses strokes, it's because he's kind of bleeding around the green, and that doesn't really matter here at all. Ron made the comp yesterday in our preview of Le Golf National, where we played the Olympics. And this gentleman finished 4th off the podium, but Vic Perez, 110. And
he's the guy I bet. Yeah, he's the guy I bet here and there too.
Yeah,
might be positional for him.
Back-to-back top 20s at PGA National. He's played the Players once, T9. Again, a lot of water. Got to keep the ball in play off the tee. 3-1 the top 20, 110. Still out there, pretty much everywhere for his outright price. So those are my guys this week. So I'm hoping to get back on the board. I haven't got a win since Canada. I'm ready to get one. Let's get those funds back in the account. Football's coming up. I'm gonna bet on some futures. So I'm gonna get a golf outright here.
Yeah, it's been since Potgieter for me. Although
that's not that long.
When you hit a bigger one, it feeds families for a little longer.
It's true.
It does help. But yeah, not a great open for me. I didn't even want to talk about that part. Where it's like, basically, I looked at him like, well, if Scotty puts well, I'm really stupid, and then Scotty made everything.
did multiple shows. And it was like, oh yeah, no, this is a great setup for Scotty actually, compared to other opens. And felt like a moron. Sinking more than a unit on Rom, who really just buckled. I
was gonna say I bet Rory over Scotty at plus money. It's not like Rory had a bad tournament.
No, he played well.
It's funny too. We took DeChambeau in one and done.
Ooh.
And he top 5, I think, or top 10, somewhere in there. He was top 5, but people weren't finished yet. I think he was like T7 or something. But,
that's a good sweat.
Jesus Christ, yeah, he goes up there on Thursday. Looks like he's never played golf before. Like, oh no, well, this isn't. Well, we won't have to watch the weekend. I had a couple live ones in the CUDA at times, but that's a crapshoot. Kevin, somebody I looked at this week too, Kevin Roy. He's one I bet last week. He had a good weekend, or he had a good week overall. Just couldn't quite piece enough scoring together. You really have to just make everything. You have to pour it in, because of somebody's going to get to like 45, 50 points in stable full scoring. So wasn't quite enough. He's somebody I looked at. I'll finalize it this afternoon. I'm going to walk around for a while yet here, and then I'm going to do a podcast with Drew later on the Arizona Cardinals. So might go back to the hotel and sit down for that one, so I can look at my notes. I can't just wing it on the
defense. Much improved.
Much improved. Yeah, we're not a terribly huge fan of the coaching staff a couple years ago, but I don't mind Drew Petzing. If we're gonna go there. So.
Yeah, maybe preview of the deep dive Cardinals preview here.
Yeah, preview of the preview.
As a note, I think it's important. I didn't bet him, but Kevin Roy tops my model this week.
Yeah, that was another thing too. It's probably going to end up having him because I think he was pretty high on both the one I saved and then the one I built on, where it was just like 3M, no putting. That's what I called it. So. Kevin Roy. I don't even know what his price is. I didn't even look at some of his prices. I think, maybe that's an addition we need to make, is pull in one set of prices at least, so you can switch. Because for the most part, I look at DK prices that we have there. It's like, he's 7,800, so you can just roughly 50 to 1, whatever.
Well, I mean, domestics 80 is the best number. You will have 108 on Chris.
Okay. He's a wager. That's a wager, then. We're putting that one in for sure.
Yeah, that's a big number. Grillo actually is shorter on Chris, so I feel good about that. 50's out there in the domestics. Chris is just under about 48 and change. If you want any Grillo action.
What price is he on Pendra?
Pendy's in my top 10 in the model as well.
Yeah, he's almost
shorter on Chris. So 33 or so domestics, 30 and change, almost 31 on Chris.
That might be as short as I go. That might be the smallest number I've had.
Yeah, I get that. I'd like to see where Chris is moving, which is always interesting to see. Yes, they have got her up, 24 and change. They've taken some Akshay money, which is interesting. He's 26 there. Wyndham right behind that. Yeah, Siwoo, Pendrith, Kitayama. That's the thing.
Worry about Akshay?
I'm a little worried about Akshay. I don't love him right now.
Well, he was playing his practice round with Ricky, which means you're not taking it seriously.
Ricky played well last week.
I
think Ron's going to bet. Ron hasn't made his plays yet, but I think based off of our show yesterday, I think Ron's firing on Ricky this week, I guess.
I watched 2 of his shots. He looks fine, but it was a very vibe group. Like long hair Ricky, and they were just chatting it up and signing for kids. And I don't know
who tweeted it. I wanted to give him credit because someone tweeted like Ricky looks like a bait salesman in Louisiana,
Oh, the long hair isn't great. Well, it's crazy because he had long hair early in his career. He had the hair, the Rory, like the big longer side flipped up hair.
Sure.
That looks fine, but what he has now, it's like his hair is different. Like he has a different hair. I don't. It's like ratty and stringy in the back somehow. I don't understand it. I digress.
I believe that's a Wisconsin waterfall, they call it.
Should we go do it? Should we go do a rough check?
Yeah, let's do it right. You got to drop the ball in the rough.
Well, no, I don't have a ball. We can just go look at it. I think we got
foot.
somebody teeing off over here. We might have to be quiet. Maybe nice. I don't know who it is. I like that they put their names on the bags. Oh, Mac Meiser.
That's your guy, dude.
It's Camp Champ, too. Yeah, Mac is like that. She's like, gotta take this camera off. She's like looking at my nose.
Riveting watching now for
Riveting. Well, you know, they're teeing off. You gotta be hush.
Yeah. They're also probably not allowed to film.
No, I don't know.
It's in the small print on the back of your badge.
You're allowed to ask too, but yeah, I don't think you're allowed to like film the practice rounds.
Yeah, film and broadcast technically.
Sit down in this Adirondack chair so I can see them. Yeah, no, the like I said, the rough doesn't look too tough at all.
Yeah, and wider fairways, wider than average fairways too. So, yeah, feel good about it. So, all right, you got anything else for people? Or did you get back to it?
Watch some golf carts.
Oh yeah, riveting.
See, they're all stopped because that lady over there is holding her hands up, saying, "Hey, we got to tee off."
Hey, hold on. You're gonna get a cease and desist letter in the mail.
I'm gonna get in trouble for this. You can't see it. Oh, I saw somebody saying, "See, he hit it." So now you can take off. I don't even know how to get back to the screen now.
Oh, you're good. We see you.
Okay. I don't know. Any other thoughts?
No, that's it. Those are my five: Gracerman, Knapp, Thor, Vic Perez, and Grillo are my five. So I thought I'd be further down the board, but 35 and in the 35 to 50 range for the most part. So
yeah, Grillo. I'm gonna try a dodo pop later.
Ooh.
I don't know what that is. Dirty
Pop?
Bringing the love of Dirty Pop. Sponsored by Dodo Pop. That's pretty cool. There are some couple of good food trucks in here, so probably get over there tomorrow.
Nice.
I don't think they open them for like Tuesday. Coming back Friday, and I don't have anything going on Sunday, but maybe we'll drive up here. Especially, I said this too about Iowa. I said if I have somebody in the final two groups, I'll just drive to Quad City on Sunday.
Yeah.
Always applies for this. If I have somebody, I mean, it's free. I can just get back in the cab. So if we have somebody in the mix, I'll come back up here and we'll walk with them. That's very, very fun. I do like walking with just one group for a whole ride. It's crazy how long it takes. It makes you feel a lot better about your pace because you've been with this team for 6 hours.
Yeah, it can be rough. So follow Betsford Golf on Twitter.
A lot better catching them on the 10th hole. Yeah, what if I walk half your round? So.
Yeah, I don't know the flow there. Sometimes it gets tricky where you get cut off, or you really tough to see the group on a certain hole. But yeah, hopefully we got a runner. Hopefully it's one we share. Hopefully
there are a few spots like that where you can't cut corners or skip to other holes because of the water.
Yeah,
I mean, there's spots where it's like you can only get to this part of the course by bridge. There is and obviously there's a bunch of neighborhoods around too. So some of the routing is just like you don't have a choice. If you end up on this hole, you either got to go all the way back or you're taking the long way home. So,
yeah. I had that Olympia Fields. Olympia Fields was like there's just certain spots where okay, you can't really get to that hole, and then you can't really get to the rest of the course because it goes that way. You got to go back around a different way, and yeah.
Red satellite pizza. We got my burger.
Yeah, we need a food truck review on BetSports Golf Twitter account.
Might do that. I wish they'd open because what is it? It's like 10:30. I suppose a little early.
I see that I saw that someone tweeted out the beer prices. There's a C-Swept. I need you to try this. A nice little rosé Pinot Grigio mix. I would love to get some content with you just sipping on a C-Swept, watching Grillo practice round.
I feel like the wine selection here is Josh. I'm almost sure it's Josh, so I might let the Josh do the talking tonight.
Okay.
I don't know how late it's. I'm gonna head to the hotel. I might come back. I don't know how late it's open for practice round, but it might be getting into the Josh. I'm still gonna
Okay.
drive to the airport though, so can't get too wild. So yeah, if nothing else, I'm gonna go check out this group over on the part 3 here.
Go do your thing. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. BetSportsGolf.com. Summertime promo code get you your month for $10. Basically, get us through the rest of the playoffs.
Big body
if you want
of
to just try us out. What's going on over there? That looks important.
That is the 18th.
Okay.
That's all the a little further away. Maybe I can zoom in a little. You can see that green over there. That's the 18th hole. There's the big water. If you remember, that's a 5 where you got to carry the water on the second shot if you do want to try to have an eagle putt. I think famously because I watched him do it, JT came here when he was trying to get his points up to play in the playoffs, and he put it in the water with one side on that 5. Buddy, you can't be super risk reward here if you're trying to make. I don't think he made the cut. That's a triple check that.
No, almost made it. Holding out in the 72nd, the Wyndham. Yeah. All right, appreciate everyone hanging out with us. BetSports Golf on YouTube's, where you listen to podcasts, betsportsgolf.com, and use that promo code summertime. And we will see you all next week for the Wyndham. You can follow the Twitter account. We might get some boots on the ground stuff from Andy. Right? You might stumble into some stuff that we didn't know we needed to know. So appreciate it.
Yeah, we got